Welcome back, Panther fans. I'm David Brown here with Ryan Graham.
Hey, y'all.
Tim Thurber.
Hello.
And this is State of Atlanta.
I feel like I missed the memo. We're doing a blackout.
Yeah, it's a funeral. We're mourning the end of the 2022-2023 college men's basketball season. I don't know if we're
mourning the March that never was.
Right.
We did play.
Yeah. What was that, Tim?
It's March sadness for us, right?
Very much.
Is this a celebration? Because let's celebrate. We don't have to watch this season anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I said mourning, but more or less celebrating the end of a disaster of a season. It was bad. But what Ryan was saying, all season long when we complained about all these games, it was everybody was reassuring us. It does not matter what happens in the Sun Belt until March. As long as you win those 3 games in March, that's all that matters. I'm like, well, here's a trick, guys. We're not playing any games in March.
We got about halfway through the game yesterday, and I said, "Hey guys, I don't think they were holding out for the tournament."
They were not.
I'm starting to think maybe they weren't holding out.
Man, again, this team, even playing Texas State, they took a really early lead, which means absolutely nothing. But they kept on getting in the game. They would get down 14, and they'd be within 6. We'd be within 4 with 5 minutes to go in the game, and then they're down by 10 again. It just
we were never really in that game ever.
We made little runs, but it was never. We never got close anymore. I mean, we got within 4 with a couple minutes to go. That was as close as we could get, but they would just come back and score a bunch.
Well, the really good news is we get the first pick of the draft.
Wait, are we being relegated? We're being relegated, right?
I don't know. Where would you relegate us to?
That's true.
Atlantic Sun.
That may be a step up. At this crap conference, we're going to Conference USA. With
there you go.
I think I must have actually blacked out or drowned the brain cells about Kennesaw State going to Conference USA. I saw something about them starting their FBS transition, and I was like, "Really, that happened?" I feel like I would have been really, really on to that. And I know we would have talked about it on here, but man, I really kind of
we did.
That was one of those Wednesday mornings where I was not functioning at work, I guess. So.
Yeah, man, I was looking forward to having a good Wednesday at work where I wasn't super hungover, and I don't know, man. I woke up this morning just dead tired and just out of it all day, and it's like my body was like, today's supposed to be this day, and you're gonna, I know you didn't drink, but we're doing it.
Just wait till you find out what Thursday's going to be like for you.
Yeah, we'll see. At least Thursday's work from home for me. Wednesday I got to work from the office, so
Gotcha. Yeah, so a bummer of end of a season. There's a lot of people calling for Coach Hayes' head. There's a lot of people saying that the best years of Georgia State have happened by us. Yeah, What do you say to that? What is your response to someone that just is crapping all over the program right now?
We lost 90% of the shooting. Stay the course. It's Georgia State's first year. I mean, it's too soon. Are we at that point, where you get rid of a coach after 1 season?
There are plenty of coaches that are first-year head coaches. I mean, does a first-year head coach always suck? Is that just par for the course, or are we just in our own unique growing pains?
No, but I think it's more important to figure out how he reacts to the season that we just had, what ends up happening based on the season. And if we see growth, right. I mean, it'd be really hard not to see growth next year based on what we saw this year. But I mean, we really need to see some significant gains.
Right.
We could finish last in the conference, but win a road game, and that's growth.
So that wouldn't be good enough to me. That would be worthwhile of really having a problem with next year if we just won one road game.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't improve win-loss wise, and this is a repeat next year, then take note. Maybe the Hayes experiment isn't going to go so well, right? But I just don't see that happening. I think he's got to focus on Georgia. He wants to recruit Georgia. He knows like Georgia and Atlanta kids. He wants to get good players in the state and keep them here. So I want to give him this next season to see what he can do.
Oh, for sure. I'm not saying get rid of him. I'm just kind of like asking the question.
Yeah,
I'm just asking questions.
Everyone says that you've got to give a coach, was it, I mean, maybe different in basketball than football, but like it's 3 years, maybe 4 years to get their full recruiting class in to see what kind of guys they want to play. Basketball is probably a little bit quicker, just the nature of the sport and the size of the rosters.
Basketball, you get like 1 or 2 like star players and all of a sudden the whole thing is different, right? So like plug and play is a little bit different. So next year we could see, I mean, a bounce back to exactly where we were, and that would not be crazy. I don't think we will, but it wouldn't be crazy.
And the biggest description of Coach Hayes when he got here was he's like one of the best recruiters in college basketball, or I guess in college basketball.
And so I think he's been impressing us, right? We've been excited about all the recruiting news that we've seen in ways that we haven't been excited in the past. I mean,
he got a 5-star kid to come take an official visit. So. Right, we didn't get him, but that happened. And then Tim, he was pretty confident in that pre-JMU Pack Suite pep talk. I wasn't there. You told me about it. You want to tell us what Coach is all about?
Yeah, I mean, he could have given us all coach speak, right? Walk in, having a bad season. He could have thanked everyone for coming out. We're doing great things. He didn't. He was really honest and transparent and said, we're not good. And you're not going to see this again. This is not Georgia State basketball. And I like it. I'm like, wow, you just came in here and said we're not good, basically, to a room full of people paying money to get in this room. And
so the biggest donors to the basketball program, pretty much.
Yeah. So he basically apologized. Right. He basically apologized.
I love that. I love that. I love the humility on it. I mean, I still think it's a lot of coach speak, but to take that kind of humility and say that we're a bad team and it's not going well, yeah, it's good to hear. So, what you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Indeed,
watch baseball. That's what we're gonna do.
So I think my biggest problem with the way the season unfolded was, while we were told to not expect too much, I had no idea to expect to go from first to worst. That is the one where I'm like, I granted, there are all the excuses. We lost, like you said, 90% of the shooting, Tim. Brand new coach, no seniors, nothing from last year, so to speak. So I guess it's not unreasonable, but man, that feels weird to go all the way from being the best, winning the conference tournament, and then just being last place in regular season, out first round in the conference tournament.
Yeah, and it also was a little bit weird because I felt like in the beginning of the season, for many games, we had hopes. Even our loss to Georgia Tech, we felt like it was close and that we played like a good competitive game. And then throughout the season, we had games where it felt like we were on, and we had a decent team, coming on, and like maybe we were knocking the rust off, but
yeah.
It sort of like at the end of the season, we sort of slid off. Like it's like we regressed. We got worse and worse and worse. And it was like every single game was a bad game. All of a sudden, we didn't even have those like weird peaks. And
right.
that was frustrating to me, that like we couldn't even at the end of the season, we weren't even pulling through every now and again. We just sort of weren't good.
Even with Colin Moore coming back from being injured and being the highlight of the team, those last few games where he got to play, we still couldn't figure out a way to put it all together. We went from horrible first half starts to amazing second half comebacks to we look like hot garbage for a full 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
But we beat TDS, right?
We beat them.
Yeah. We beat them at home. We broke. If we lost that game, it'd be what, 12 games.
Oh my God.
Streak. Woo.
Well, I think that also goes into part of what makes this season so hard is we've been looking forward to this particular season for no other reason than the Convocation Center opening, the box opening up. And you had that. You had Georgia Tech. We were going to host Georgia Tech. We beat them the first time. We lost the second time. We're hosting them for the first time in our first time. I don't know how long we've been since we ever hosted Georgia Tech, but we have in the new place. Bummer to lose Lanier, but then you get excited about Coach Hayes. There was just a lot of anticipation for this season. I think that the way it ultimately ended just has a lot of people being negative. And then I also think there's a lot of fair weather fans out there that are talking a lot of crap right now who weren't actually a real fan back when we were doing well. They were enjoying it, but they weren't really fans, or they weren't paying attention. So,
are you saying a lot or just the one?
That vocal minority that's on social media.
Yeah. I haven't really seen a lot, but I don't go looking for it either. I don't even do Panther Talk very much anymore. So, I don't know.
What's the what is the Panther Talk vibe, David? Have you read anything?
Are you not on Panther Talk anymore at all? Man, I got to do all the research on this thing. I think
I'm on there every so often. Yeah.
I think for the most part, Panther Talk has probably your, by and large, more realistic fan base. Obviously, a lot of people that expect the best and demonize the worst. However, they understand. Ben does a good job on Panther Talk of kind of setting expectations and letting people know where this place is. You get that kind of, insider information up to the point that he's allowed to post it publicly. But then you start looking at those Sunbelt Facebook pages or the Georgia State Facebook pages where that's really the only place they see anything other than box scores. And they're quick to, criticize. They check the score after, finish watching somebody else's team watching UNC or Duke or whatever. And they just want to make fun of State for whatever. But I don't know. Social media just sucks. I think that's the point.
I agree.
It can. Yeah. What I agree. I'm on it a lot. I just want fans to be fans of the program, win or lose. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's totally reasonable to be bummed out. It's totally reasonable to question coaching hires and coaching, keeping a coach around. But I just don't think this is any reason to pull the fire alarm right now. It's an incredibly bad season, incredibly bad. Nothing anybody truly expected, and it should be nothing that any true fan ever wanted just to see. There's no reason you should want to see this.
No, cheering on the loss is a little weird, and we definitely saw that.
Yeah. So onward and upward. I don't think I got anything else about basketball.
Yeah, pretty tough game to watch. I'd sat and played video games on one screen and watched basketball on the other. And,
kudos
basketball.
No, it was there.
Kudos to the ladies. They won their first conference tournament game in 12 years or something. So about time. Congrats to the ladies. Congrats to Coach Gene Hill and his staff. That's awesome. Unfortunately, could not pull it out today in the round 2 or whatever you want to call it, which is interesting. Had the men's team beaten Texas State last night, they would have played Old Dominion tomorrow, which is the same team that the ladies played today. Would have been the same team in second round. Stuff like that is interesting to me. Probably is not interesting to anybody else. So
I think it's pretty interesting, David. I'm with you. I was hoping the women could pull it out, though. They got within 3 with 2 minutes to go or something like that. And I was, all right, let's go. I was watching women's basketball, which I don't typically partake in.
I often hope the same thing, Tim. I often hope the same thing.
Let the women pull it out.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for adding that.
It was a little detached.
Ouch!
It has never been detached, Ryan. It's never been detached.
No, not that.
So.
The joke was a little separate.
I am sure we will talk more about the basketball teams in the coming months, but we can go ahead and put a nail in that coffin for this season and move on to one of my favorite subjects: schedules. Football schedule, in fact. It came out on Friday, 4 days early. It was like Christmas in February. It was fantastic. And then I saw it, and I was like, oh, look, I forgot the Sun Belt makes our schedule, and it sucks.
does it? You don't like the 2-2-2-2 thing they're doing?
That is the one positive. So the schedule is two home, two away, back and forth, which is great, except for the fact for the second year in a row we end the season with 2 road games, and that's just unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. There's no reason why any team. Well, yeah, I mean they're 2 years now. Yeah, it's a newbie. There's no reason why any team should ever end their season 2 away games unless they schedule it themselves. It's ridiculous. We finish. I mean, we didn't do ourselves any saving graces by scheduling LSU on that second to last weekend in the regular season, but we did that 7 years ago. I don't know why we did that.
Saturday,
but we did,
right?
I just don't understand. Like, I looked at the other team schedules, and Monroe also ends the season on 2 road games. They've got a P5. They got Ole Miss, and they finish at Lafayette. Then Coastal and Southern Miss have out of conference games, Army and Mississippi State, 2 weeks before the end of the season, and they end at home. So they have a game out there, and then they come back at home. I don't know why the Sun Belt could not make that happen. And if you are going if for whatever reason, when you're putting your schedule together, and there's no other way than putting one team away to end the season, the very next year you make that something that doesn't happen. You don't let a team in your conference end 2 games on the road. It's just garbage. It's stupid. It's poor scheduling. Sun Belt sucks.
I think you care a lot more about it than even our program. So,
I guarantee you they don't care about it. I doubt they even pay attention to it.
They're like, whatever. Here's the schedule.
So you would just like flip James Madison or App and make that the last game.
Yeah, I didn't go through all the math on figuring it out. There's no way you'll ever convince me that it was impossible for us not to end the season. I don't like how they do 3 home games in a row or 3 road games in a row either. We don't have that this season, but they could have done something.
Right.
They could have done something for that. We do have 2 home games in a row with a bye in the middle, which is fine. But that's my biggest complaint. Did you, Tim? Because I know Ryan doesn't care at all. Tim, did you think anything about the schedule? I got more notes.
I think I like the 2 on 2 off concept. I think when we're on the road or at home 3 games in a row, it's a lot, a lot of time away if it's away. But I guess if you flip James Madison or App, I'd probably flip App, right? 11-11. Flip that with Old Dominion, then you're what? One home, 2 away, 1 home, and you're done. That'd have been a nice
Old
finish.
Dominion.
Yeah.
To get Old Dominion, a team that we beat last year before playing LSU would be great. Instead, we've got. I mean, the schedule's a gauntlet.
The hardest
You're
team.
Playing. You host one of the 2 teams you've never beaten in your entire career. The week before, you've got to go to LSU. It's tough, but
you gotta win.
Better than
gotta win.
It's easy.
You gotta win.
That's it. Who cares about the schedule? Win, just win, baby.
I care about the schedule.
Nah, who cares, man? Not if we win, you don't care.
No, we talked about this on
every single game.
We talked about this on the group chat, and I understand where you're coming from. The most important thing is winning the game. They could have all 6 home games to begin the season, and in the season 6 road games in a row. Oof. But if you win all 12, that's all that really matters. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with that. Yep. But also, our whole shtick is tailgating. Our whole shtick is being the party, having a good time. And it really kills fan experience when you either have too many home games in a row or too many road games in a row. And then, when you end your season, when you're doing senior day with 2 more games to go on the road, it just kind of it's a bummer. It's just a bummer.
I don't go to a tailgate and have a bummer.
It's a weird game.
You're not going to tailgate it. You're not having a tailgate at all because you end the game in the season on 2 roads. Yeah.
I guess there's no team
6 tailgates. I'm getting 6 tailgates.
And one of those is going to be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah. I'll get call out of work. It's going to be great. I don't have to work that day. It's even better. I get football, tailgate, and no work on a Thursday.
That is the best Thursday to have a game. Opening up the season on that Thursday before
Rhode Island.
Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever that 3-day weekend is.
Take the Friday off too, just to be sure, just to be careful.
The Rhode Island Rams. I don't even know what is Rhode Island.
Well, they beat us back in the day when they were our CAA foes.
No, wasn't Rhode Island our third year in a row of winning our first game 41-7? Was that Rhode Island?
I mean, we played them more than once, but I think I'm remembering Maine.
It's probably
Maine beat the snot out of us,
right?
Maine beat the snot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is the Rhode Island Rams.
Look at you go.
I only said Rams because it was RIR. I don't know.
I think they need. I was thinking that if they actually had, if Rhode Island was big enough to have directional universities in there, and they were University of Rhode Island Northeast, then their acronym would be urine.
Yeah, but
man, you need to lobby and make that happen.
They're not big enough.
I know they're not, how many universities do they have in there? Exactly. There was those Real Men of Genius Budweiser commercials back in the day. I think they had one, and they were talking about something about the future of football and how plans for the new stadium were bigger than the state of Rhode Island. Like Rhode Island's dreams were dashed of getting their own football team when they found out that the stadium would be larger than the square footage of the state itself. It was pretty funny. I mean, they did it. It was funny. So yeah, so that
other scheduling nugget. Like,
yeah,
I want to see if you guys agree. Southern yearly on a Thursday, right before Georgia, Florida. Is that Sun Belt doing that, or is that Southern saying, "Hey, Sun Belt, make this Thursday"?
That is interesting. Like, I've never thought about this before. Somebody made a note of it on the group chat. But yeah, you've got all those Georgia fans that are traveling down to Jacksonville for the Georgia Florida game. If they leave a day early, they can go to Statesboro and see Georgia State take on Trash Down South. You get 2 games in one weekend. It's not I have no idea if that was meant to be. I doubt it was meant to be, but it is a convenient way to do that. Tim, are you going to do that? You typically go down to Jacksonville.
No.
You're not going to do that?
I go to Jacksonville, but no. I'll be down there earlier. It's not worth the stop.
What do you think of having a Thursday game against TDS in general?
I mean, well, if that game was played on Saturday, the attendance would be atrocious. So I think they did a smart move and moved it to Thursday.
You mean playing on that?
Out.
Yeah. You mean that particular Saturday? If they had played that game on that particular Saturday, but not another Saturday, just a Saturday in general. But yeah,
I mean, it's really whoever you put in that weekend for Southern. If it's at home, they'll never pull attendance. It's not happening.
Well, we complain about this. Is something I just thought about. We complain about having that rivalry weekend, and how we feel like that should. If we're going to be in this conference, we're going to have rivalry weekend. It should be against Trash Down South. What better weekend to have it than when Georgia's playing Florida like 2 days later? I know that's not Georgia's biggest rival, not their in-state rival.
It's definitely
it is one of their biggest rivals, and it kind of puts them side by side. It's a whole different type of rivalry weekend. You got the research universities in North Georgia of UGA and State, and you have the regional universities of Statesboro and Jacksonville down south, playing each other.
Jacksonville.
That's what they are.
No,
right?
I really don't like changing schedules based on what UGA is doing and all that stuff, because I feel like we should just be our own beast. But I think
we don't have to.
I still think we should play them on what is traditionally rivalry weekend, and that we don't is a slap in the face to us.
We don't have to change our schedule based off of Georgia, because the SEC has been around long enough and has all their weekends set. Every weekend when Georgia's going to play Florida. When Georgia's playing Auburn. When Georgia's playing Tennessee. Those weekends are all set. You could plan that out for the rest of your lives. You know that. So we don't have to follow what Georgia does or like base our schedule off what Georgia does. We already know what they're doing. We already know the SEC schedule. That's the way it's out there.
True. So, just do it different, right?
I know. Yeah, I just have heard people say, you know, we need to schedule our game because Georgia's doing this or that or the other thing, and I really don't give a shit what Georgia's doing. We need to just do our own thing, and whatever that is, like I don't think we need to worry about what Georgia's doing.
The best thing we could do is get out of the stupid conference because obviously the conference does not care about what we're doing, about our schedule.
That might be true.
So
I think, David, they are listening to you. They just listen to like 1/4 of what you're saying, and then they do part of it just to see your reaction.
Well, I feel like maybe they listen to you and they're like, "Man, how can we really dick over this program? David knows what they want. David knows what would help them, so we just do the opposite."
I want back-to-back. I want back-to-back home and away, and if we're gonna play a power P5 team, I would like to have either the week off before or the week off afterwards. And don't end back-to-back seasons. Don't end back-to-back seasons on an away game. Yeah.
I wish that we had the last game at home because those are the fun tailgates. The very last game of the season. It's a little chilly outside.
Yeah, and I remember like before we did the chili cook-off for the last home game, it would be like everyone bring their Thanksgiving leftovers, and we would just have this huge potluck of all kinds of great food. Everyone, because no one wanted to go home with it. Like I need this crap out of my fridge, and we'd have great food out there. It was great. It was awesome. But yeah. So
we did have a poll, right?
We had a poll. I've got
what on the group chat, right? We did a poll of the first 3 games, right?
Oh, about the win-loss record. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? What do you want to talk about? Say it.
Well, we did have one person say 0, I think, or 1, which I was like, all right.
And this was a poll strictly for our Patreon members who are in the chat.
Right.
And it was for the first 3 games and how many wins did we expect to have after 3 games next season?
So 6 people said 3 wins, which I'm one of those 6. Blue color glasses on. I don't know. I feel like we should
get me closer to the season, and I'm with you, but I'm not there yet.
Right now, you're like,
this was the first 2-1. I was at 2-1 only because I just don't have enough faith in us to win everything that I think we're going to win. We should beat Rhode Island. We should be.
I was going to say, don't expect me to pick which 2 and which 1, but like, I think we're good for a loss and good for 2 wins.
It's one of the things I wanted to talk about with the schedule was, we have a week 6 bye week, so it kind of logically breaks up the schedule. So you can kind of look at the schedule by like what games we're going to win in the first half and what games we're going to win the second half. So I think Rhode Island and Charlotte are supposed to be the games we win this season. Charlotte was supposed to be a team we won last year. We were favored 21 points going into it, and then 2022 happened, and not the case. Now UConn,
Georgia State happens.
Is a team. Yeah, exactly. We GSU'd it. UConn is a team that, in general, I would think that we would be favored in.
They're
so I like
up a little bit.
I like 3. They're trending up. I like 3-0 against that schedule. But after being beat down in football and then beat down in basketball, I didn't have the energy in me to click on 3 wins to begin the season.
Well, and we're good for like a solid loss that we shouldn't lose, right? Sure. At least 1, if not more, right? So I mean,
right? Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna peg it on Charlotte if we do drop 1.
Charlotte's the one we lose if we lose 1.
Yeah.
Man, and better not.
I don't want it to be Rhode Island. Damn it.
What's pretty scary is looking at the rest of the schedule and trying to find wins, though.
Well, so looking at the second half of the schedule, and I do want to say I would rather lose to Charlotte or UConn. I don't know. What was I going to say? I forget. I'd rather lose to UConn than Charlotte. I would rather lose to UConn than Charlotte.
Me too.
But all right. So going to the second half of the season, there are 2 teams that we play in the second half of the season that we beat last year in Trash Down South and Old Dominion. Now, both those games were at home. last year. Now they're on the road, makes it a little bit more difficult. But I really don't feel like getting trashed
all right down south, though.
Exactly. So I don't really feel too bad about beating them because they're kind of like our gimme on the schedule every season with a few hiccups. And Old Dominion, I still have no respect for. So another win to end the season, last game of the season, if we're not all in body bags after having played at LSU the week before. So then it's like, all right. So if we're saying we get 3 wins out of the first half with Rhode Island, UConn, and Charlotte, okay, then now we're at 2 wins with Trash Down South and Old Dominion. You got to find one more to get bowl eligible. Lafayette's hot garbage now. Again,
that's what I would say,
another road game, but time is due to get Lafayette, and maybe we have a App State win at home. I don't know. That's how I would find my. That's how I'd find my way. Talk. That's how I would find my way to a bowl eligible season.
Nah, we're not beating Appy until we do it.
That is
I completely
straight
agree
logic
with that
right
analysis.
there.
I mean, you can't call that game a win until it happens.
No,
like it's just not going to happen.
No, that's my 7th win. That'd be my 7th win.
All right,
that'd be my 7th win on the season.
I mean, I'll be still rooting for us, and I hope we win, and I would love to win that game, but like I don't expect it.
We think it every year, and then it just somehow.
I know I called it this year, and I'm done. I'm done calling that game a win for us.
Here,
but next week, ask me again. We'll see how it changes.
All right, we'll do.
Matt says he was the vote for 1 and 2. Not ready to raise my expectations, and would like to set myself up to be pleasantly surprised then let down. I think we need to do the exact same poll like a week or 2 before this.
0.
Oh yeah,
I'm updating 0.
We need to make a note and do the exact same poll a week or 2 before the season starts and see how things change. Because I know how I change. Yeah. When we're a couple of weeks out, I'm going to be like, I can see a road to 10 victories. Yeah, exactly. Hey, LSU, you better watch out because the Panthers are coming and Tigers ain't got nothing on that shit.
I think it's more likely that we beat LSU than Appy.
As soon as you started talking, I knew what you were going to say.
And with it being GSU, Ryan, that would happen. That would be how.
I know. No. If us being GSU, we go like 1-11, and the 1 is LSU.
Yeah. We beat LSU and then immediately lose to Old Dominion the following week.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Yeah. I can totally see that happening. We have 3 Thursday night games, and I think the only thing good you can say about that is 2 of them on the road. The one is to open the season, the other 2 on the road. I like that. I don't like how it's the first one is after finishing up our beginning of our out of conference schedule at Coastal, but whatever. You could make that into a week-long trip because it's at Charlotte on a Saturday,
keep going,
and then
right.
And then it's Coastal's kind of on your way back. If you kind of go east and then take the long way home, you go up to a Saturday game in Charlotte. Maybe the Falcons are playing that Sunday in Charlotte. Maybe. I don't know. NFL, if you're listening, I have a lot of schedule ideas. And then wake up Monday morning and go hang out in a crappy beach for a few days. Maybe play some golf and see a game on Thursday night. Come home on Friday to Friday trip.
Make it happen.
It's not that thing. Would you
write a letter?
Would you do Falcons on Sunday after Coastal or no? You could drive back to Charlotte, right? No. It's got to be the day after only.
Well, no, actually, no. I could do that. I got friends in Charlotte, but I don't want to. I mean, you mean like if
now you're stretching this out too far?
We'll see. Let's see what happens. I was kind of hoping for Lafayette and LSU to be like back-to-back weeks with Falcons in the middle, because then that'd be like the one way you can convince me to go to Louisiana for a game. I could see 3 games in like 7 days. I would probably do that. So
you just want to swap Old Dominion and Louisiana, just flip them on the schedule.
Well, they're both away games. I don't see why the Sunbelt will have a problem with that. So
we'll get on that. We'll message the conference office. Where is it? Isn't it at whatever it's called?
It's in the Superdome.
Caesars Dome. Yeah,
it's in the Superdome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think that's all. I think we beat this. Ryan, are you still awake? Doing schedule talk?
What's your one gimme game, Ryan?
Oh, there is no gimme games in Georgia State football.
Not even the FCS game. That's probably the hardest one.
I already said, like, after those first 3 games, like, it's really tough finding wins.
Mm-hmm.
TDS, I mean, that's the biggest gimme we got.
And the Monarchs, Old Dominion as well.
Yeah.
If we're not beat up from LSU.
Tradition says not so much. I'm pretty sure they have the record on us.
Yeah, they're
they do.
I think they were 3 and were they undefeated against us? Or were they 3-1 against us? No, it wasn't that bad. It was like 2-1. No, I think it was 3 games. We played 3 games against them.
They had what's his face though?
Heineke,
yeah. Heineken.
I
don't know.
It's Heineke, I think.
Hanky?
I don't know. They had him.
Mr.
He was like Grayson
the Christmas
McCall,
poo?
the first version, right?
Well, and he was that was painful because he was one of our recruits for a little while, and we missed on him, and ODU hit, and then he was like crazy superstar.
He was.
That was still Bill Curry recruiting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Magnanimity didn't work. Magnanimity. Magnanimity.
Yep. All right. Are we done with football?
I think so. Schedule out.
Schedule out. We'll talk more about it at some point, I'm sure. I guess we got some other sports stuff. Baseball had a 4-game sweep against Brown, the worst named team in all of college athletics.
Whatever.
Or the best named. One of the two.
Whatever.
They unloaded. They had like 8 home runs or something in the 4-game series. That's awesome. It beat the snot out of them.
And then there was one of the games that got canceled because of a light went out.
Lighting malfunction.
Oh yeah.
They tried to turn the lights on and the lights failed.
So do we spend more money on Panthersville or just kind of roll it over and play like Chicago Cubs where you never played night games because you couldn't afford to or you didn't have lights or anything?
Hey, save the dollars, man. Build the new stadium.
Save those Georgia Power dollars to go to the new arena or the new field.
I'm all for that.
Let me go this.
It'll be much better when we can just drive downtown and not drive out to Panthersville.
Make a left at downtown and keep on going. Yeah. So that was good. It was a good weekend for the guys. And then last night, they played Alabama State. Both women's or softball and baseball were both at Alabama State last night or yesterday, playing at pretty much the same time, and both left with wins. So
I'll take it.
Yep, it's good. Kennesaw State baseball on Tuesday.
All right, there,
Panthersville. Yeah,
so just as far away, just the same far away.
Which is easier to get to, Panthersville or Kennesaw State? Panthersville for me, by far.
Oh yeah, it's actually a lot closer.
I would probably Panthersville for me too. Kennesaw State's not easy to get to, depending on when you're going there.
Yeah,
all that traffic, that town center traffic is worse than all of downtown traffic combined. Town center is like a place I try to avoid at all costs. Like if I'm trying to buy something, I don't know. The traffic doesn't matter. The traffic is still garbage up there. When I found myself around there anytime, I'm like, this is why I never wanted to be in this area. It's
well,
crazy.
That 285, 75 connection right there is also really bad in Cobb County.
Oh, that doesn't bother me at all. It's way that would move so much better than like the town center exit, Barrett Parkway. Barrett Parkway is the worst. Barrett Parkway is absolute garbage.
So many lanes, but it doesn't work at all.
No, yeah, exactly. That's when you talk to like traffic people and they say how the more lanes is not the answer. Like Barrett Parkway is an example of more lanes not being the answer. Like I agree when it comes to that. But when you have superhighways going across the entire state of Texas, I'm like, yes, I want to see that. That's the NASCAR I want to see. I don't want to see a circle. I want to see 1,200 miles of 20-lane tracks and everyone trying to get there fastest. That's more entertaining to me. More lanes are better.
Does it work better? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't want to be the guy. I don't be the guy that's out there in the middle trying to install those little reflector lights between every little dash. Well, that'd be a shitty job.
That would be.
All right. Beach volleyball swept at the beginning of the season. 4 games they played.
All right.
4 games they won. Best team. We are a beach volleyball team. Beach volleyball school.
Beach volleyball school.
I think we should all wear bikinis until beach volleyball loses.
They don't wear bikinis.
I know, but we should do that in support of them.
We should.
Yeah. I'm sure people disagree.
We'll see how bad they hate it. It's like we start throwing games just to get us to stop wearing them. All right. Yeah. I feel like we are approaching last call territory.
I think we're good.
I had a couple of vodka drinks and a couple of other good beer. I don't know. What else you got, Tim?
I mean, is there any other sports going on? What about softball? How are they doing?
Softball, they won a couple. Lost a few. So, yeah. Yeah.
I'll take it.
It's the one sport I didn't write down. I looked it up and I was like, I'm not going to write that down. No one ever asked about other sports. So I'm not going to say anything at all. And then Tim.
Sorry.
Thanks, Tim.
We were really
over other sports. Wasn't that going to be your shtick?
Yeah. It's during the pandemic. Yep. Pandemic's over.
Start asking you questions. All right, who's beach volleyball playing this weekend? You have any idea? I wrote that down.
South Carolina.
I wrote down a school that I've never heard of before, PBA, which I thought was like the Professional Bull Riding Association. PBA.
Panama.
And I actually looked it up. I was like, if I say who this school is, they're going to say, who the hell is PBA? I better look it up, knowing that I would never even bring it up. And all right, PBA. Anybody got guesses?
Well, I already said one, but it's not right. PBA.
No clue.
No, nothing.
I'll give you a hint. Their mascot is the Sailfish.
Sailfish. I don't know.
I don't know. No, I got nothing.
Palm Beach
International?
Atlantic Beach Atlantic University.
All right.
Oh, cool. That's a real thing.
Apparently so. I searched their athletics program and there was some dudes playing tennis on it. I guess they have a beach volleyball program as well. But yeah. Now playing Jacksonville U, Charleston, PBA, Sailfish, and Tampa at the Tampa Invitational. Oh no, that's who they beat. That's who they beat. They're playing Grand Canyon, Stetson, TCU,
I said Stetson.
and Florida Gulf Coast. Yes, Stetson alum in the house.
That's right. Watch out for those hats.
All right. It's like Monopoly mascots.
You're gonna get hatted. Watch out.
The Mad Hatters. All right. Let's go to last call because obviously we're too drunk to figure out what we're talking about anymore. You can find our last call on patreon.com/State of Atlanta. It's available for free on Friday mornings. It's available immediately for our Patreon members. Consider subscribing for as little as $3 a month. Early access to last call, as well as private group chat, which is the best part. Discuss some merch and whatever else we do. I think that's all, guys. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Peace.